My wife cheated, framed me as abusive, and made me pay child support for 12 years. Then I discovered I wasn't even the father. I sued her. And what came next left her shattered. Hello, Reddit I+ here. I don't even know where to begin. I guess the best way is to tell it straight, because to this day, people look at me like I'm making it up when I explain what happened. I 45M met my ex-wife, let's call her Lydia 42F, back when we were in college. She was charismatic, confident, and had this way of making me feel like the most important person in the room. We dated for a couple years, and in 2003, we got married. At the time, I thought I was marrying my best friend. By 2006, our daughter Emily was born. Or at least, I thought she was my daughter. I'll get to that. The first few years of parenthood were good, or so I thought. But Lydia started changing. Nights out with co-workers became more frequent. She was suddenly glued to her phone, and intimacy between us practically gone. When I asked about it, she'd twist things around, accusing me of being paranoid or controlling. That's when the gaslighting began. In 2010, everything exploded. Out of nowhere, Lydia told her family and some of our friends that I was verbally and emotionally abusive. I was floored. I had never laid a hand on her, never screamed at her, never called her names, but she told everyone I was manipulative, that I belittled her, that she was trapped. It didn't matter that none of it was true. Once those words were out, they stuck. My own parents questioned me. Friends I had known for years drifted away, and then the divorce papers came. I fought for custody because I wasn't about to abandon my daughter. But Lydia played the victim card so well in court, crying about being terrified of me, even requesting a restraining order, which the judge denied due to lack of evidence. But in the end, she got full custody, and I was ordered to pay child support. For 12 years, I worked myself to the bone making sure those checks cleared, even when it meant skipping meals, selling my car, and working overtime. I didn't want Emily to suffer, because her mother and I fell apart. During those 12 years, Lydia kept poisoning Emily against me. Every phone call was cold, every visit shorter than the last. By the time Emily was 15, she barely spoke to me. She parroted things like, "Mom says you never cared about us," or, "You're the reason she cries all the time." Still, I kept paying. I kept showing up. I kept trying. Then, last year, when Emily was 17, I noticed something. We were at a small diner for her birthday, and the waitress, a woman in her 40s, kept staring at us. When I asked if everything was all right, she said, "Sorry, but your daughter looks exactly like my cousin's kid. Like, scary, similar." At first, I brushed it off, but something gnawed at me. A few months later, after another distant, awkward visit, I bought a DNA kit. I didn't even want to. I felt guilty for doubting, but something inside me whispered, "Check." I mailed it off. Waited weeks. And then, the email came. 0% chance of paternity. I read it 3 times. My hands shook so hard I nearly dropped my phone. My entire world tilted. For 17 years, I believed I was a father. For 12 of those years, I sacrificed everything financially and emotionally, and it was all built on a lie. I confronted Lydia. She didn't deny it. In fact, she laughed. She laughed in my face. Her exact words burned into me. "Did you really think you were man enough to father my child? I've known since day one she wasn't yours. But you were dumb enough to play daddy, so I let you." I swear, I almost collapsed right there. The rage, the heartbreak, the humiliation. It all collided. I told her I was suing her. She smirked, like she thought I was bluffing, but I wasn't bluffing. I found a lawyer who specialized in family law and fraud cases. I had the DNA results, years of payment records, and evidence of her lies. We built a case not just for reimbursement of child support, but also for emotional damages due to defamation, her false abuse claims. The court process was grueling. Lydia tried to paint me as bitter and vengeful. She claimed I was only doing it to punish her and hurt Emily, but the DNA results were undeniable. When her lawyer asked her why she never told me the truth, Lydia broke down and admitted she didn't want to lose financial support if the real father, a married co-worker at the time, bailed. The judge's face said it all. In the end, the ruling came. Lydia was ordered to reimburse a portion of the child support I had paid. Not all, since some courts still consider it a gift to the child, but enough to make a dent. She was fined for defamation due to the abuse claims that had cost me friendships and opportunities, and she now faces possible criminal charges for fraud. The worst part, though? Emily. She found out in court that I wasn't her biological father. She turned to her mom, crying, asking if it was true, and Lydia, she just sat there in silence. Emily looked at me like her whole world had been ripped away. She hasn't spoken to me since that day. I don't blame her. She's a victim too. She grew up believing lies, just like I did. As for Lydia, the woman who once destroyed me with rumors now walks around town with people whispering about her. The same friends and family who believed her stories now see the truth. She lost her credibility, her reputation, and soon, her freedom. It doesn't feel like victory. It feels like ashes. I got justice, yes, but I lost the only child I ever raised. I lost years I'll never get back. I share this because I know there are men out there who trust too blindly, who sacrifice without question, who love without hesitation, only to be betrayed in the cruelest way. If you're reading this, don't ignore your instincts. Lies rot everything from the inside out. And when the truth finally comes crashing down, it doesn't just break, it shatters. After the court ruling, I thought maybe, just maybe, the nightmare was over. I had exposed Lydia for what she was. I had proof that I wasn't abusive, that I wasn't a deadbeat, that I wasn't the monster she painted me to be. But if life has taught me anything, it's that betrayal doesn't stop when the gavel falls. A month after court, Emily reached out. For a second, my heart jumped. I thought maybe she wanted to talk. Maybe she wanted answers. Maybe she wanted a relationship with me despite everything. But when she showed up at my apartment, the look on her face told me otherwise. She walked in like she owned the place, crossed her arms, and said, "Emily, you need to stop this. You need to forgive Mom." I blinked, stunned. "Excuse me? Emily, she made mistakes, okay? But you dragging her to court, humiliating her in front of everyone, what does that solve? You got your money back. You ruined her life. Isn't that enough?" I tried to stay calm. "Emily, she lied to me for nearly 2 decades. She made me pay for a child that wasn't mine. She told the world I was abusive. That's not a mistake. That's destruction." But Emily's expression hardened. "Emily, she's still my mom, and she's all I have. You should have just let it go. Real men don't hold grudges this long." That last line hit me like a sucker punch. Real men? After everything I had sacrificed, after every holiday I spent alone, after every dollar I poured into raising her, she had the nerve to call me less of a man for fighting back. A week later, Lydia called me. I almost didn't answer, but some foolish part of me thought maybe she wanted to apologize. Instead, she slipped right back into her old tactics. "Lydia, look, I know things got heated in court, but you and we don't have to be enemies. We can fix this." For Emily's sake, I laughed bitterly. "Fix this? You robbed me of fatherhood. You ruined my reputation, and you expect me to what? Sit down for coffee and pretend it never happened." She sighed. That same practiced sigh she used to disarm me back when I was too naive to notice. "Lydia, you're lonely. I can hear it in your voice. You don't want to grow old alone, do you? We could work something out. No one has to know the details. Emily would respect you again if you stopped this crusade." That was it. That was her play. She thought she could seduce her way out of consequences, thought she could dangle family in front of me like a carrot. I told her flatly, "You used me. You stole from me. And now you want me to help you rebuild the house of lies you burned down? Never again." And I hung up. Not long after, Emily sent me a text. One line, no greeting, no love. "You'll regret turning your back on us." Us. Not me, not Dad. Us. As in her and Lydia. A package deal. That's when I knew. My relationship with her was over. Maybe one day when she's older, when she's lived enough life to see manipulation for what it is, she'll come back. But for now, she's chosen her mother's side. It hurts more than anything. I didn't just lose a marriage. I didn't just lose money. I lost the one person I thought would always be mine, my daughter. Lydia still tries to contact me. Emails, voicemails, even handwritten letters. They swing wildly between apologies, guilt trips, and outright threats. I save them all, but I don't respond. Emily? Radio silence. Sometimes I check her social media just to see if she's okay. She posts pictures with friends, with her mom, smiling like none of this ever happened. Not one word about me. And me? I'm rebuilding. Slowly. Painfully. Therapy helps. Friends are slowly coming back into my life now that the truth is out. But the scars remain. If anyone tells you time heals all wounds, they're lying. Some wounds don't heal. They change you. They make you colder, sharper, less trusting. But maybe that's not all bad. Maybe it's protection. Because if Lydia taught me anything, it's this. The people closest to you are the ones who can twist the knife deepest. 2 years passed after the lawsuit. I stayed no contact with Lydia, and Emily stayed loyal to her. My life was slowly piecing itself back together. I moved to a new city, got a quieter job that didn't drain my soul, and even started dating casually. For the first time in decades, I felt free, until Lydia showed up again. It was the spring of Emily's college graduation. I hadn't been invited, of course, but I knew about it from mutual acquaintances. I wasn't going to crash the ceremony. I figured Emily deserved her day without drama. But 3 nights before graduation, I got a call from an unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answered. It was Lydia. Her voice was shaky, dramatic, almost theatrical. Lydia, I'm dying. The doctor said it's aggressive. I don't have much time left. You don't want Emily to lose her mother without peace between us, do you? I stayed silent, waiting. She continued. Lydia, I know I hurt you, but can't you see? Emily needs us both at her graduation. She'll never forgive you if you don't come. Be the bigger man. Forgive me. For her. My hands clenched around the phone. Forgive her? After everything, she wanted me to put my dignity on the shelf again so she could parade around at Emily's graduation like she hadn't wrecked lives. I finally said, send me proof, medical reports, doctor's notes, anything. Silence. Then she snapped, Lydia, why are you always so cruel? Why can't you just let go of the past? Fine, stay bitter. But don't come crying when Emily cuts you out forever. And she hung up. No proof. No illness. Just another trick. I didn't go. I stayed home, cleaned the apartment, poured myself a drink, and waited for the day to end. But around 10 p.m. there was a knock on my door. Emily. She looked furious. She didn't even sit down before launching into me. Emily, you couldn't come, could you? Mom told me you said she's lying about being sick. You're disgusting. She's dying, and you still hate her more than you love me. I swallowed hard. Emily, your mom has lied every step of the way. I asked her for proof. She refused. Doesn't that tell you something? She glared at me. Emily, all it tells me is you'll never stop punishing her. I don't know why I even bothered giving you another chance. Her words sliced through me. I wanted to shout, to shake her, to make her see the truth. But I didn't. I just asked quietly, Emily, when has your mother ever told the truth when it mattered? For the first time, her face faltered. Just for a second, but then she set her jaw and turned away. Emily, forget it. Enjoy being alone. You're good at that. She walked out. A week later, Lydia herself appeared at my apartment building. I only saw her because a neighbor called me, saying a woman was making a scene outside. When I came down, there she was, dressed in black, sunglasses on, sobbing loudly enough for the whole block to hear. Lydia, please, just talk to me. I can't live like this anymore. I'm sick. I'm broke. I'm losing everything. You won, okay? You won. But don't you dare turn Emily against me. She's all I have left. Neighbors peeked out from their windows. She was staging the performance of her life. I walked right up to her, looked her in the eye, and said loud enough for everyone to hear, you don't get to play the victim. You destroyed your marriage, your reputation, and your relationship with me all by yourself. And now you're trying to drag Emily down with you. Not this time. I turned to the neighbors and added, she's lying. Again. Please call the cops if she keeps harassing me. Then I walked back upstairs and shut the door. That was the last time Lydia tried to manipulate me in person. After that, she resorted to emails and vague Facebook posts about being betrayed and dying, but nobody really listened anymore. Her lies had run their course. Emily? She still doesn't talk to me. Maybe she never will. Maybe she'll always see me as the villain, because that's the story her mom fed her since she was old enough to talk. I can't undo that. But here's what I do know. I stood my ground. I didn't cave to guilt. I didn't let the woman who robbed me of 12 years, who poisoned my own daughter against me, rewrite the ending. She wanted me shattered. She wanted me crawling back. She wanted me to forgive her just so she could keep control. Instead, I walked away. And this time, I didn't look back.